In this video, we're going to take a quick look at learning how to select, add and remove cells, columns and rows from your spreadsheet. If you've never created a spreadsheet before using Google Sheets, there are a couple of ways. One is to go to your Google Drive, then from the top here where it says New, select Sheets. There are other ways though. The quickest of them is probably just to type in sheets.new. When you've created your spreadsheet, you would usually title it up here to give your file a name. And when the sheet has loaded, you'll find that up here, there will usually be a little icon that appears after you've given it a name or you've typed some information in that shows that that file has started saving. And when it's saved, you can usually then click on Move to place it into whichever folder you want to save it into. For now though, let's just concentrate on selecting, adding, removing cells, columns and rows. It's important to understand that a spreadsheet is composed of cells, which are these individual blocks, and each cell sits in a row, which are these horizontal lines, and a column, which are the vertical ones. Each column is named with a letter, and each row is named with a number. And as such, each cell has its own identification. For example, this one we can see at the top here is cell B2. Now, in order to select cells, primarily we would just click on them. And that's fine if you just want to select a single cell. However, if you need to select a group of cells, you can do several things. You can click and drag, and that will allow you to select numerous cells at the same time. You can also select all of the cells in an entire sheet by clicking the top corner here. And if you want to select individual rows or columns, you can simply click on the column title at the top here, or on the row title at the left here to select an entire column or row. The other thing to be aware of though is that sometimes you'll want to select multiple items that are not in one big group. So for example, if I wanted to select only rows B and D, if I select everything between them by clicking and dragging, that would be quite time consuming to go all the way down to the bottom, but I can't click and drag across three titles. So what I can do is I could hold the control key while I'm clicking on this one, and then hold the control key while I'm clicking on the next. And the control key will allow us to select any groups or individual cells that we want to and make them all part of the same selection. So I can even click and drag, or I can individually click on cells. And that would allow me to select specific groups of cells to reformat in whatever way I wanted to. You can also, by holding Control, deselect cells from the selections that you've made. So if you want to exclude certain cells from whatever you're going to do, that's quite straightforward too. Now, if you have some data in your spreadsheet and then you realize that you need some extra rows or columns, we'll just fill out some data here. And we'll just copy that and duplicate it across. Let's say we have a bunch of data there, and then we realize that we actually need to add some more data between these rows D and E. If we just do our right click on the column header, you'll see that we get these options here: insert one column to the left or insert one column to the right. You'll also see it allows us to delete that column, to hide it, to clear it, to resize it, and so on. So there are a range of options, and the same essentially apply if we click on a row title here. So if we right click, you'll see that we get the same options there. So in this video, we've covered the main things, which were to select, add, remove cells, columns, and rows in our spreadsheet.